Microsoft gets a TikTok brand boost, and Twitter goes under the FTC microscope. I'm Jeff Beer, and this is Fast Company's Brand Hit and Miss of the Week. The hit this week goes to Microsoft. No, not because it announced a September 15th launch date for its streaming platform for games, nor is it because it's bringing NBA fans into the bubble with Microsoft Teams. This is much bigger. Almost as soon as President Trump announced he was thinking of banning TikTok in the US amid security concerns surrounding its Chinese parent company ByteDance, Microsoft was in talks as a potential buyer. Not only would this bring perhaps the most popular social app on the planet and its 100 million American users under the company's umbrella, it immediately would make it a contender in the social wars among Facebook, Twitter, Snap, and others. Microsoft is obviously an incredibly successful company and brand, but it's somehow eluded the same kind of cultural and emotional fandom of its competitors like Google, Apple, and even Amazon. This lack of brand magic isn't for lack of trying. More than a decade ago, it hired the hottest advertising agency at the time to buff its image. But it's never been quite enough. Even some of its attempts have been played for laughs. Remember when Guardians of the Galaxy planted a Zune joke? Microsoft owns massively popular and successful platforms, from Xbox to Minecraft, LinkedIn to Skype. But these are rarely associated with their parent company. Of course, the same would probably happen with TikTok, but it's right now that Microsoft is scoring huge brand points with millions of Americans, particularly TikTok's younger users, as the savior of their favorite source of entertainment. This week's miss goes to Twitter. A week after 4 CEOs from the world's biggest tech firms testified before Congress, in part around how they collect, use, and profit from user information, a company that wasn't in the hot seat at all now finds itself under investigation. Congressman Sensenbrenner may have mistaken Twitter for Facebook, but the Federal Trade Commission isn't. In a regulatory filing this week, Twitter said the FTC was looking into last year's admission that the company used user phone numbers originally uploaded for security purposes to target people with advertising. Boo! Not only is it a gross ad grab, it's also a potential violation of a 2011 consent decree where Twitter agreed to improve how it protects personal data. The company said this may lead to a probable loss of up to $150 to $250 million. All this comes the same week a Florida teenager was arrested for hacking Twitter accounts of prominent politicians, celebrities, and tech execs like Barack Obama and Joe Biden, Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk, as well as Kanye and Kim Kardashian West. At a time when it was other tech companies under the microscope for their behavior and policies, Twitter as a brand was in a perfect position to avoid the same kind of scrutiny. So close. That's it for now. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.